What's up, guys? Welcome to Reseller's Life. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for joining me. I go by Daily Refinement Online, which is the pursuit of less but better things. So let's get straight into today's episode, which is how to grow your store $1,000 in revenue per month. So let's get straight into it. Smash the like button and consider subscribing, because in every single video, I'm going to give you actionable tips to grow your online store. Let's go. So tip number one, all the tips are actually in the description below if you want to bookmark this video, or maybe pause the video and write down which steps you want to take, but they're all in order in the description below. Tip number one is going to be, you actually have to sell good stuff. What do I mean by good stuff? I mean stuff that's over 30 bucks. You guys know I work with a number of dropshipping companies. The analytics on eBay are very clear. 50% of the stuff is under $12. That's why I mentioned a lot of people, including myself, sell volumes of things under $12, because that's like half of all eBay. Under $30 is 90% of stuff. Okay, so this stuff is liquidation, bulks, junk. I call it junk because it's just random things. $30 and under is now 90% of stuff on eBay. This is stuff that if you found at the thrift store, you're gonna get it for between 1 and 10 bucks. It's just most things. Now, where you wanna play is the good stuff, which is stuff that's over $30. So make sure you guys actually comment in the description below something that costs over $30 to be entered in my last giveaway. This is the last fanny pack that I have. I just did a sample run of merch that I'm gonna be giving away. This is the last thing. I keep supplies in here like snacks and a tape measure and extra batteries, so when I go out and look for things I can actually test items. But I'm gonna be giving this away to a random person who comments an item that's over $30. So you need to list one of these per day for a month. Okay, so this is stuff around the house. Start with electronics, shoes, appliances. Get used to only looking for stuff that's over $30. Trust me, a small store of expensive stuff is much easier to scale than thousands of $10, $12, $15 items. You need a larger store in order to do that, and I don't recommend that for people who are just starting. Keep your store small, tight, and expensive, just so that you don't get out of hand. You don't need an inventory system when you have less than a few hundred items in your store. You can just start small and really start identifying the good stuff. That's step number one. Okay, so step number one is listing one $30 item per day, assuming it's 1/3 profit, so it's $10 profit. That's $300 the first month. $10 times every day is $300 profit the first month. Month number two, now you're gonna list 2 items a day that are $30 and over. If you practice every day looking for items that are over $30, and you go into the comment section below where I ask people to comment over $30 items, and you start acquainting yourself with what I call the good stuff, which is the 10% of stuff on eBay that sells for over $30, if you just program yourself to focus on those things, you will start looking for those things and sourcing those things. You're gonna leave the stuff behind. Trust me, if you wanna sell stuff under $30 on eBay, you need a lot of those items, and you probably need extra help or extra space, and you don't have that yet because you're just starting. So focus on the good stuff. Month one, 1 item every single day. Month two, 2 items every single day, and continue that process until month 12, you're now listing 12 $30 profit items per day. If you do that, you've now grown it from $300 a month to $3,600 a month profit minimum. And this is where you're almost making $1,000 a week. If you put the work in and you don't take any money out, that's step number 3. You leave the money in your eBay business for like a year. You don't actually have to come out of pocket any money. Find these $30 items, which is gonna take some practice. Reinvest that $10 profit back in the new inventory. At the end of the year, you're gonna have a business that makes several $1,000s a month without any additional investment. Start with the stuff at home. Look for the things in the comment section below that are over 30 bucks. Cell phones, shoes, jackets, electronics, home goods. Sell everything that you have in your house. Just sit on the floor while you build this. If there's something that you really like, you can rebuy it on eBay later. Just get started and learn without spending too much money. I have a course, don't buy it. Don't buy anything. Just use your cell phone and get started till you get some momentum. Use the profit to buy new stuff. Don't come out of pocket. You need to get used to reinvesting, because if you do that over the course of 3 or 4 or 5 years, you never have to work for somebody again. That's like the most incredible thing about running an online store, is once you have enough items in your store, the momentum is there. eBay now trusts you with new traffic. Okay, but as you're getting started, it's gonna be difficult because they don't know you. You're a stranger to the eBay algorithm. Once they know you, they're gonna start giving you a predictable amount of traffic. Step number 3 is really important. A lot of people don't do this, and it's become a student of the game. So you're only listing one item per day. Remember, we're talking about quality here, not quantity. One item a day. When you post that item, actually try to shop for that item. See why other people rank higher than you. It's really important to understand SEO, which is search engine optimization. You need to have the right keywords and the right title and the right item specifics and the right description so that your item actually shows up above the fold. And what above the fold means is when you're scrolling, people oftentimes don't go to the second or third page. They just see what's on the first page and buy one of those. So you need to figure out how to rank in the top, and that just comes down to the right words in the title. If your listing doesn't have the right words, it's not going to show up. So look at the items that show above the fold and copy them. This is very straightforward. You have to become a student of the game. This is really important, and this never ends. You have to do this forever. Okay, when I first started this 3 years ago, people literally were making great money just on eBay. Okay, that's just 3 years ago. Now, there are people who list on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, LinkedIn, Grailed, Craigslist, OfferUp, Close5, and still doing terrible, even though they're listing on 10, 15 different websites and they're spending all this money on cross-listing software. Because they don't understand, it's not about listing on more platforms, it's about learning SEO to dominate one platform. If you only have one of them, you don't need to list it on 17 sites to sell it. You just need to list it on one site perfectly, show above the fold, X amount of people look at it, one of those people will convert. I recommend in the beginning, if you're selling stuff under $30, don't cross-list it. Okay, you have to get into the habit of building a large enough inventory before you start spending money on that. Just focus on one platform until you get to at least $10,000 profit. You can do it on any platform, Poshmark, Mercari, it's whatever. Pick one platform, get the $10,000 a month first, and that's gonna teach you the search engine optimization. But tip number 3 is become a student of the game. This is so important. Before we get into the rest of the tips, I just want to remind you guys that every video that I have is sponsored by my reseller field guide, which is my make $1,000 a week guide. It's digital. It's in the description below. You can get it for $35 with code YouTube. There's also a physical planner that comes with the book if you want to track your progress. I say it usually takes about a year to get to $1,000 a week, assuming you don't have to take any money out. Okay, so that's why my top piece of advice is don't quit your day job, because if you can just leave money in this business after the end of 1 year, you'll have a big enough inventory that you'll have some cash flow. So help sponsor the channel, pick up a field guide for $35 with code YouTube. If you're not comfortable with that or you can't afford it, just email me at chris@dailyrefinement.com. We'll work something out. I have some affiliate deals that won't cost you any money and it'll allow you to get the course for free. I don't want anyone to not have this information. Everyone should have an online store, okay? Because if you don't use something, you should sell it and get your money back and then use it for something else. Even if you just resell things that you're not using, it's worth $35. So help support the channel, and let's get into the rest of the tips. Tip number 4 may surprise some of you guys, but I actually think that you should make the profile picture pop. What do I mean by that? I mean either Photoshop it or use a tool like Photo Room to make the background pure white. This is research that Google has already done. Google has already proven that a white background has the highest click-through rate. That doesn't mean the person will buy. This is really important to understand. Some people say, oh, I don't use plain white background pictures and my items sell fine. It's not about that. It's about the click-through rate. More people click if the background is white. It doesn't mean that they buy it. It just means that you get the click. No one can buy the item if they don't at least look at the listing. So your goal is to make it pop. So you see people basically gaming this by adding a little star that says look or amazing or hot deal or ships from the USA, or in the title you'll notice people putting awesome, rare, vintage, cool, amazing in the title. Obviously those don't rank and those don't do anything inside the YouTube algorithm. What they do is they trigger the human eye to look and increase the click-through rate. Okay, so as silly as it is to make the brand all caps or to add in a fluff word like unbelievable, which obviously wouldn't rank, it works because it lets people actually click onto the item. This is why eBay is actually trying to combat this by saying don't have any clutter in the background, but it works. If you look at the top sellers on items that sell hundreds of times a day or really popular items, like those bundles, you see people selling cameras with 1 million different accessories in the background, and the first picture has 60 things in it. That's designed to get you to click. Okay, so second part of this, once you get people to click, I recommend having at least one real photo of the item, one unedited raw photo, so people can see the actual color. That way you don't get a return, because you'll get returns when people say it's more periwinkle blue than regular blue, and you'll have to accept the return as an item not as described. But if you include one natural light photo of the item, you're going to increase that credibility, and also you can actually compete against the big guys who usually just use one or two stock photos. If you include a real photo and a photoshopped special photo in the initial profile, you're going to get a higher click-through and a better conversion rate if you include that nice real photo in there. Okay, step number 5, which is listing frequency. Now, there's a lot of BS about this one, which is like you have to list every day, you have to adjust your store every day. That's not true. You can just list one perfect item and it will sell every single day. You don't have to list every day. The reason why people recommend listing every day and why that could work, it's relevant, it's correlated, but it's not causation. Meaning, if you list every day, that's not the reason that you sell. It's just that you happen to list a good item one of those days that you actually sell. No one's having problems selling items that have a high desirability. If you're listing Apple AirPods at $5 below market, you would sell out every single day, right? There's no requirement to list a new item every day. You could just go into the AirPod listing and add quantity to it every day. As long as you're the cheapest price, it will literally sell every single day without listing. It's just in the beginning, you don't have a supplier with AirPods. So you have to learn and you have to build your suppliers up over time. So in the beginning, listing every day allows you the ability to practice. That's why I recommend you list one a day, keep that flow going, don't break the chain, to get into the habit of learning how to list an item perfectly. People confuse listing every day with that being the reason. It's not the listing every day that makes it so you sell things every day. It's the practice and the refining and the ability to get better every day that actually causes that increase in sales. Number 6, this is a big one, and one that, again, it's a little bit controversial, which is listing engagement. What this means is you should allow best offers. So I just changed it. So I normally don't allow offers on items under $25, but now I do. The reason why I do is I feel like eBay favors sellers with more engagement on each listing. So I'm probably not going to accept an offer of less than $1 or $2 off a $25 or under, but I'm noticing that the engagement of the listing is helping. Also, on a more rare item, I might put in the description, make me an offer, or if you know something about this mid-century modern chair, please let me know so that I can add it to the description, or maybe I'm misdescribing this. You'd be surprised how many people take a few minutes out of their day to write you something about the item, which makes the item better, and it also increases the engagement on the listing, which for me personally has worked. Now this one is anecdotal, but I imagine if I was running a platform, listings with more engagement, I would give a better ranking. So this one is anecdotal. I don't have proof of this one, but I can't imagine that eBay would penalize you for having engagement. They say right on the listing, allowing best offer increases your likelihood for a sale, right? So they say that on their listing, so I just assume that it's true. Okay, number 7 is put the most important words at the beginning of your title. So for example, if you're selling a refrigerator, you'd put the brand, the size, and the model in the first few words, because a lot of these titles are actually truncated, which means they're shortened on people's mobile devices. So you may only have 30 or 40 characters to get somebody's attention. So don't put the color and features of the item first, because that's not what people need to know. They need to know the model, they need to know the brand, and they need to know maybe condition in the first few words. So a lot of these sites have condition just below the title because that's important, people want to know. But again, try to keep your most important words towards the front, because again, a lot of titles are shortened. Okay, number 8, this is the most important one. So make sure you gently caress the like button and consider subscribing again, because I'm trying to make these videos as useful as possible in the shortest amount of time. So number 8 is sell things as fast as possible. When you first list an item on eBay, you actually get something what's called a best match boost. That means something that's newly listed gets a magical boost in ranking for the first 24 hours. So when you're listing something, you get the rank above everybody else just because your item is new for the first day. So list to sell. The number one thing in your resale business that's going to help you grow is turnover. If you're selling things really fast, you're going to have a lot of capital, even if it's a smaller amount of profit. So just think to yourself, what could I do to make this listing sell in 24 hours? That's really, 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 really important. Thanks guys again for listening to my tips. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Until next time, make progress daily.